Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to VTM Shadows of New York. And in the last episode, Julia has received some unexpected help in her investigation into Boss Callihan's death. Kadir and Julia were able to track down D'Angelo the Nosferatu from the original Coteries of New York game, and the Nosferatu detective was kind of hiding in plain sight in his ransacked haven. But now we have D'Angelo in the car with us, and we're heading to where Boss Callihan's remains were found, and hopefully a fresh set of eyes is going to help us with this investigation. So, let's see what happens here. After dropping us off at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Mia, Kadir quickly drives away. Here we are.
Swell. A classic closed-through mystery. Let me take a look.
He starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element.
So, you're saying you're basically a nobody, but you can simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame on our crib for you?
I don't know, sure sounds like somebody to me. And our crib. Don't misunderstand. I only met her during the course of this investigation. Everyone's basically been treating me like dirt wherever I go. And I'm only acknowledged enough to legitimize this sham.
Lord Castlereagh.
Now that was an abrupt interruption. I was busy sharing, damn it. Excuse me? He's pointing at the painting of the man overseeing this entire office.
I met Murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds follow him.
He seems to have completely switched his modus operandi upon seeing the murder scene. He's in his own little world, and his behavior has become more machine-like, erratic. I still don't follow.
I never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era. But then again, I have no idea about his exact age, of course, so maybe that's when he lived, or was born. Anywho.
Pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here?
Right. That's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, a British Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 18th century. Incredibly influential, incredibly hated. Ask one fella about Castlereagh and he'll tell you, he was the man who destroyed Napoleon for good, the man who shaped British politics for ages, the man who built foundations for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fella, and he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform and then supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters.
He's spouting these facts like a computer. Is that the hint of a detective's photographic memory?
I have to say, it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Definite proof that our victim was sick in the head, as if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him, too. Maybe identified with him, even. Yeah, that's possible. Callihan and his ilk adore those jagoffs who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Too bad nobody else ever remembers them well.
I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. How did he die?
He committed suicide in the 1820s. His family took every sharp item away from him, but he was, well, dedicated.
Why did he do it?
Precious mountain from all sides. Deserved hate coming from all sides. Plain old overwork. Also might have gone nuts. Kept saying he saw ghosts. Otherworldly silhouettes were guiding him. Yada yada.
An unpleasant feeling grows in my stomach.
Also, there's a rumor about someone was threatening to expose him as a homosexual. Having to choose between being publicly denounced and end it all by his own hand, he chose the latter.
Well, that's just depressing.
Maybe. But the silver lining is, it couldn't have happened to a nicer fella.
He stops above Callihan's corpse and laughs.
Posterity will never survey a nobler grave than this. Here lies the bones of Castlereagh. Stop, traveler, and piss.
And he kicks his bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. Is he under the influence? Isn't that tampering with the crime scene?
Kiddo, as far as I can see, this crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be ruined more than it already has.
I agree, but it looked about the same the last time I was here.
Then it was already a total mess before you ever got here. Whatever.
Standing by the metal shutters on the windows, he abruptly changes the topic.
Light-proofed. Have you toyed with these?
No. In general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me, and I don't like it.
They don't like you?
They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You think it could be useful, but it's just a curse.
I see. You think these blinds could have been the murder weapon?
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense that someone would have opened it and just exposed him to sunlight. Yeah, I did wonder about that. I entertained the possibility.
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's say for some reason our stiff was standing there as the sun was rising. Maybe staring at poor old Castlereagh, looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side. Yet another guy pushed the suicide by politics. Pretty old school, romantic, yada yada. Or maybe it was torpor. Or maybe it was a freak accident. Or maybe it was premeditated. In any case, sunlight would be a perfect murder weapon, no?
He takes off the mask to shoot a disfigured smile my way.
Well, that's just a theory anyway.
Well, it sounds... sound.
Does it? Because I was just spitballing. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart, and that can easily be done without damage to the skeleton.
And he sets off with a wink. What is he playing at here?
The safe. Anyone make a crack at it yet?
As far as I know, only Callihan knew the code, and the safe itself is pretty hard to crack.
Watch me, kiddo.
He presses an ear to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around. You're a safe cracker now?
Yeah, when you're cursed with countenance such as mine and you decide on a job such as mine, you gotta be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, but still sounds pretty hard.
Last year there was a random fella visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. He found a safe that hasn't been opened for 40 years. Not a single specialist, nor even a blacksmith could have handled it. The man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, attempted the most sensible combinations, and voila. The unthinkable happened. That's where you trust your instincts lead you. Too bad he found nothing inside but an old pay sheet.
Metallic screech. The door's open. I'll be damned.
And it looks like we got the same case here. Confetti, a few random papers scattered around. And before it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation. Probably recent too. Reeks of foul play. But what do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over.
Another wink. Another walk in a random direction. I look inside the safe. It's quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside the safe and hide it on my person, then close the door so nobody knows he managed to crack it. When I turn around, he's motioning me to come closer to a sheet of paper lying on the desk.
Yeah, kiddo, you probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not gonna bore you with that, but honestly, anything could have happened to you.
I read the text he's written on the empty page. This place is wired. It gives me chills. I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as noise. He nods and starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on.
The best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, to interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on them.
The wiretap is a chip in the broken glass bottle on the floor. Absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, the talk of the city. Finally got an excuse to nab him. I understand. I think I have an idea how to use it to find him. Should I notify Kadir? Scribble, scribble. Takes longer than before.
So yeah, I'll be meeting up with Kadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing.
Your call, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try to stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, so I can get to relative safety. For sure.
It's back into the sheriff's custody for me. See you around, Julia. Sorry this old codger couldn't have been more help.
It was more than enough. Whatever I got was plenty. See you around, D'Angelo. Man, I knew D'Angelo was going to pull through for us. I've got a plan. Now all I need to execute it is a clueless bystander. This guy'll do.
Do you, need me for anything else?
Not really. Better take a hike before the guy you've just called shows up. I can't guarantee he won't make you hurt. Will do. He puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. I might have messed with his head a little too much using my wily kindred charms, but I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet, quite clearly, multiple times. I would have given him the kiss as thanks at least, but I told the big man I won't be here all night and that he better hurry up, so I want to be ready whenever he comes. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a sharp, fast turn onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flashback hits me. I know this limo. I've seen it all around over the past few days, but never thought it might be tailing me. Still, it must have. Looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Doors open, and a raspy voice comes from inside.
Get the fuck in, Sawinski.
I smile and accept the invitation. There he is, Kaiser, the king of New York City's information highways, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kinds. First impression? He's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo was also a sewer rat, and he might have had, similar physical disadvantages, but at least he was wholly endearing. With this guy, there's no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanly cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages.
You're getting on my nerves, little lady. and I'm far from being the only one.
I get the sense he meant for all of this to be threatening. Instead, I'm elated. After a week of running around like a headless chicken, unsure if I was getting anywhere, finally, I get a compliment. If there's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, it was that you only know you're doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad. Don't piss me off, old man. If you want to escalate, I can escalate. And there's a lot of expensive shit here you probably wouldn't want me to break.
Ah, yes. I did hear you and Tech don't get along. Is that why you left that mess down in the double spiral basement?
He scoffs at me with pure contempt.
Listen, I'll speak as plainly as humanly possible to get this through your little head, since it's obvious you're not willing to read the obvious signals. You were hired for one thing, and one thing only, little lady. To suck at your job. And you couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week, telling me, Kaiser, dear Kaiser, we keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she won't get a clue. She doesn't have any evidence, she doesn't have any testimony, but she still goes around knocking on everyone's doors, causing disturbances. It's such a fucking headache. Usually I try to be a jovial host, so I cheer them up. She's not that much of a dunce, I say. She's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion by knocking on my very own door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Are you autistic or something? Huh? Can't read basic fucking social clues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself. Cuebano? Who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? See, this city has a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless, but ever since you started tinkering with it, it's been having these irritating malfunctions, and it's driving people...
Are you done? A weird, disgusting sound, something between a gargle and a bark, escapes his throat.
It's unbelievable.
All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve the puzzle I was presented with. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you to share it.
I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman. How do I get through all the rubbish in your head to drive my point in? Don't you know who I am?
Ooh. So, what do we tell him? I guess we could go ahead and just hit him with this. I don't know if that's necessarily going to get D'Angelo in trouble. Let's see. You're the one who had Callihan's place wired. And I know who you are, which makes you a possible witness of sorts. Or even a suspect.
For Christ's sakes, woman, get real. Even if your accusations were correct, then who, pray tell, would you report them to? Do you even know what kind of people I answer to?
No. Care to acquaint us?
Is that really what you want? You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. But this is your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I can tell you now you're going to be sorry.
The Big Kahuna? Finally. Now we're talking.
Yes, the Big Kahuna. So this is your final answer, huh?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
He takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah. At least I'll finally get a clue of what's going on.
I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. Best case, you're going to beg him to take you in.
Whatever. He keeps grumbling under his breath, but I'm not even listening. I just watch the streets go by. Until out of the blue, I experience a strong sense of foreboding. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser with an expression that's impossible to discern. Yet when she speaks, her voice is machine-like, yet otherworldly. Fine. We're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special. The moment he puts away his phone, the silhouette disappears.
We're 5 minutes away. You better start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself useful to the honcho.
There is no honcho. Oh my god, of course this motherfucker is setting me up. I need to get out of here. Now. I do the first thing that comes to mind. I grab the door handle and pull. He notices me scrambling and struggles to grab me.
Hold up, you stupid fucking cunt!
Glass breaking. Loud thuds of something heavy hitting the asphalt. Tires screeching. I think he grabbed me. I think he tried to pull me back in. I think we fell out of the limo. And I think his body cushioned my fall. But I'm struggling to process what's going on. It's like I'm blanking out. When I come to, he's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. The limo stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out.
Fucking...
When he stands up, he'll be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. I need something that'll give me the advantage. The pepper spray. Of course. It probably won't be as effective as it would on a living person, but it's still worth a try. I limp toward the asshole, disarming the device, aim toward his eyes, and unload the entire canister.
Ah!
It worked. It actually worked. I keep up the offensive. I punch him, kick him, throw him around. I pummel him. I smash his head against a curb. I struggle to harm him in whatever way I can, like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it lasts. Might be 1 minute. Might be eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing to him, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. Then, I look at him.
Ooh.
He seems shocked. He's barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he's one of the most influential figures in the city. That's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. When he speaks again, his voice is pathetic, surprisingly close to a whimper.
You'll pay. You'll fucking pay, you lost, mislaid, and abandoned property of a woman.
He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked. What? Do you think I'm stupid?
You needed to be taught a lesson.
Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know about Callihan's final death. All of it.
Go to hell. You can fuck me up however bad you want. I'm still not going to tell you shit. You try anything, there will be consequences. There will be retribution. My mouth is shut.
He might be my last chance to solve the case. But if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. Do I dare to push him to the edge? Make him suffer until he squeaks? Oh yeah, absolutely. He was gonna have us Mel Gibson, whatever that means. I assume maybe Bravehearted. I mean, that has a lot of different definitions, you know what I mean? And for La Sombra, there's very few barriers they won't cross. So I think Julia will do whatever is necessary. Know thyself. Well, I'm sure you will open your mouth if I do this. I put his shin against the curb.
Wait, what?
And kick with all of my strength.
Ah!
It's a compound fracture. I barely managed to suppress my gag reflex. It feels like I'm disassociating.
You fucking psycho! You fucking psychotic bitch!
He's actually weeping. Like a child. It totally shatters the tough image he was trying to project earlier. Like this is the first time anyone has ever used physical violence against him. What if it is? You either start talking, or the other leg goes. Then the hands, and then I will get creative. I try to collect myself and put his other leg against the curb.
I'll talk! I'll fucking talk!
The kick connects. It's a light one. A sadistic feint. It still manages to get a pathetic whimper out of him. Then talk. But this had better be good. He looks at me with pure fury, then begins to speak through clenched teeth.
You want to know what was in Callihan's office before he died, little lady? Everyone. Fucking everyone and their mother was there. Van der Weyden, Hazeling, Arturo, and Panhard. That Khmer douche motherfucker talk with his sidekick. All of them. Callihan thought that the only way was to pit them all against each other, or to ally with every single one of them. Little did he know, it was all in their best interest for him to just fucking die.
That's good. That's great. But who killed him?
I have no fucking idea.
That won't do. Once again, I put his leg in a potentially disastrous position. In response, he starts howling maniacally.
You fucking sadist! You fucking monster woman! I really have no idea!
Who kept complaining to you about me? Who's responsible for getting rid of the evidence?
Everyone! Everyone did! Goddamn Callihan had dirt on everyone and antagonized everyone, so it took everyone to fucking bring him down. All the evidence is gone. Every theory is equally true, so none of it is. Don't you see, you fucking cunt? Everyone is complicit, so nobody is. Why the fuck do you think Sophie Langley is no longer around? Why is Dork no longer pretending to be a revolutionary? Why are free agents involved? Why are they shutting you up tomorrow?
Shutting me up? Who?
Can't you connect the dots, you dumb whore? What are you, a fucking retard?
Somebody's about to get
Julia!
I look back over my shoulder and see Kadir.
Bloody hell, what is wrong with you?
Kadir?
You're out of control. This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. A hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off.
Bullshit.
You're out of your damned mind. I should have you in for a potential Masquerade breach.
Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Don't you care about that?
I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous and psychotic.
Shut the fuck up. I can't control myself. I kick him where I know it'll hurt him the most.
My fucking leg! Stop this right now, you goddamned idiot.
I freeze in place. I've never heard him use that tone with me.
I will take care of you in a moment. In my car, Kaiser. Hold on.
I'm not done questioning him yet. It looks like there's a major conspiracy to...
I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And you're going to be glad I leave it at that.
If you do that, I'm going to have to assume you're complicit.
That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a third.
So that's that. Tell me, what was all of my footwork even for?
We'll be seeing each other, little lady.
Can you hear this?
Go home, Julia.
But...
Go home.
Fine. I will. But before I do, I take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo, still abandoned a little further down the street. Oh god. Alright, well that escalated quickly, and it looks like taking the more La Sombra route with Kaiser may have cost us any hope we had of having Kadir as an ally. I don't know how that's going to play into the end, but we basically found out what we assumed, that like everyone in all the power players in New York are pretty much in bed together. Like the kind of their own little cabal. Anarchs, Camarilla, just all of it. They don't really care about factions. They care about power. They care about control of the city. And I don't know what's going to happen here with Julia, but we'll see where this development leads in the next episode, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. That'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.